So we're standing here at the Mission Garden. It's a ethnobotanical garden where we're trying to represent very much what Tucson used to be 150 years ago. People would have been growing wheat, corn, beans, fruit trees, they would have been growing vegetables and all kinds of plants that would have been sustaining the community. All, of course, related to the amount of water that was present in the Santa Cruz River.
The Santa Cruz River has always been a key part of why Tucson has had civilization here for thousands of years. And even though it doesn't look like it today, it used to be a perennially flowing river.
This was a thriving, flourishing river with cottonwoods and willows and surface water flowing all year long. As we move through history, population growth, the Spanish, the European influence in the region.
People would actually divert water out of the river in order to grow crops or do other things. And that really started changing how the river behaved into the early 1900s.
And later on, as air conditioning came into this area, the city exploded.
People discovered how to pump from the groundwater beneath the river in order to keep building the community.
There's a lot of factors that led to the river drying up, but groundwater pumping is a big one. That changed what was living along the river. You know, the Gila top minnow disappeared, as well as many other native fish.
Visionaries have often thought about, okay, wouldn't it be great if we could have the Santa Cruz River flow again? But it wasn't until about 2016 that Tucson Water really took a look at, okay, is now the time? Is there an opportunity here? And do we have the resources in place that it could make sense? And it really did. It lined up really nicely as something that would be good for the community, but it also fit in with how we approach management of our water supplies for the future. And so it's been about a 3-year conversation from idea to when we're actually going to dedicate the flow.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you all to this dedication ceremony for the Santa Cruz River. This is a project that's been many years in the making, and we're finally here today.
This is a grand experiment. We actually don't know for sure how far the water will flow. We have a limited pipe diameter and limited amount of water we can put in. So we're going to use that, and it'll flow maybe 1 mile, maybe 2 miles. We'll find out over time. A lot of people might wonder about, okay, how are ratepayer dollars being used to do this? And the total cost of this project is well under $1 million. To be able to recharge this amount of water in a constructed facility would be at least 3 to 6 times as expensive as that. When we deliver water into the river channel, most of it actually soaks in to the groundwater beneath. And when you do that over time, it actually can start to rebuild the groundwater underneath it.
Adding any kind of water regularly to the river is going to increase diversity and probably support more plants like willows and other vegetation that need more access to water, aquatic wildlife, insects that a lot of them start their life in the river, and they're a good food source for fish and birds.
It's a very high quality of reclaimed water. It's not drinking water, but incidental contact with that water is perfectly appropriate. This is the same water that we use on our golf courses, that we use in our parks and school grounds, and it's actually the same quality of water that already flows in the Santa Cruz River much further north.
The stretch of the river from Sweetwater Wetlands area north to Marana, I believe we've been releasing water into the river since the 70s, so we've been doing it for a long time, but what's really changed is the quality of the water. I don't think there was any seeding of vegetation. It just will come on its own. So, give it water and it will come.
See, a few people have asked, how would the return of the flow affect the Mission Garden, or would complement somehow the Mission Garden? Wildlife and the biodiversity, whether we're talking bats, insects, and birds, and possibly reptiles, will be connected in a bridge between the A Mountain, Tumamak Hill area, the Mission Garden oasis, and the permanent flow. Even if it's small, will definitely increase the biodiversity in the entire area.
Unless you live in the desert, you just don't appreciate rain and rivers the way Tucsonans do. And releasing the water into the Santa Cruz today on El Dia de San Juan, when Tucsonans are good and ready for the monsoon to start, is especially appropriate. Only Tucsonans could understand why, on one of the hottest days of the year, we go outside of our own free will, celebrate our city, and fervently hope for rain.
It is a very important symbolic gesture, I would say. Personally, I can compare to what we're doing here at the Mission Garden. There's no way we can bring everything back to the way things used to be, you know, when Tucson was a little town, but yet it brings us the concept of why we're here. Understanding the origins of Tucson makes us understand this region. It makes us conserve, it makes us appreciate what we have. When you see the water flowing in the Santa Cruz and you can go and touch it, and you can go and put your feet in the water, you are touching history.
Really, we focus so much on what we've lost along the river, and our river is still there. It's very much alive. It's probably really different from what it used to be in the past, but it's still part of our heritage. It's the reason we can call Tucson home.